Tokozani, peace and greetings, everyone. My name is Makhosi Ganyezi, and today I have with me my lovely sister, Makhosi Nicule Brooks. She is a Sangoma based in Canada, and she is going to be a part of Afrikan Mysteries School. I'm very happy to have you here today,
Happy
just
to
to
be here.
talk a little bit about what she is going to be offering, and just to touch base with her. So thank you so much for joining me, Makhosi Nicule. Excuse me. If you could just if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you got into Ubungoa.
Right. Well, you know what? Everybody's spiritual journey is unique and beautiful. And I don't know if I could say the same. I was spiritually dead. I was on the verge of suicide. I recognize now that I had Sangoma sickness. I'm going to just keep it all layman terms for everybody
Mm-hmm.
watching. And I met my spiritual mother, my Gobella, at that time, and I do accredit her for saving my life because I don't think I would have made it through. Um, and upon the diagnosis of me needing to become a TWASA, which is a student, an initiate, I wholeheartedly gave into the call because I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, but the Christian way was not doing it for me anymore. No matter how much pray up, no matter how much Bible up, even though I have enough respect for Master Christ and his Christ craft, as as my partner says, because I'm like, yeah, it's true. He be
Jesus is
doing,
the homie,
I'm
okay? I
telling
know
you, he
no
be doing the
problem.
damn thing. He be mixing and licturing and raising people of the dead.
Shout
Come on,
out Jesus. Yes, I
come
get
on.
it.
So I said, this path for me, actually, when I got into my twassership, I realized the depth of what spirituality is.
Mm.
And to be honest, I understand the Bible in a lot more spiritual ways in a much deeper way. So the calling for me came through crisis, but through the crisis
Mm-hmm.
came an elevation and an
Mm.
evolution of a new self that I'm so ever grateful for. And I pay homage and respect to my ancestors, Tokoza Makos, Tokoza Makosa Makulu, for all. I'm feeling them right now. I'm feeling teary eyed for all that they have done for me. And it is an honor and a privilege to serve as a healer in this manner. But I will admit, and this is probably a wonderful segue into what we were going to be discussing now with the series you've created, Makhosi. Because in my training, I'd battled a lot with who I am as an artist and how that is intertwined, or is it intertwined with the calling of being a healer. And I know now more than I did before at the beginning of my journey that it is not only intertwined, but it's part of my ministry.
Mm.
And I say ministry and I use gospel. I use a lot of terms that you will hear in Christian terms, but the gospel in layman terms means the message.
My coast,
Ministry
yeah.
and yeah. And so, this is what we carry. This is my message. This is my gospel according to Gogo or Makhosi Brooks. I also will say that for me, everybody's path is so unique. And
Mm-hmm.
so part of what I do in the arts has now transcended into healing arts. And I
Yeah.
recognize that what I do creatively is part of the medicine that I work with and that my ancestors work with in the mission of healing the world.
Yes. Yes. We were just chatting about your work that you're doing with Obeah Opera and all of your new things. So I know many of you probably have seen that going around social media. This is the creator and director of Obeah Opera. She's absolutely amazing. If you don't know what that is, definitely you want to Google that, because it's a beautiful body of work that she created. Um, so yes, so um, with that, tell us a little bit about what you are going to be teaching and bringing to Afrikan Mystery School.
Right. Well, For those who are interested in participating in my sector, because I want to participate in all of it, I just want to say that, Makhosi, it's incredible what you've brought together and the women healers that you've brought together. For me, it's a call to those who have a creative edge, for lack of a better term, or are curious of how their creativity plays into spirituality. The title of my course is, in actual fact, Creativity is Spirituality. And even thinking about other common terms like Kundalini, we understand that the Kundalini energy or the sexual energy is creative
Mm-hmm.
energy. And
Mm-hmm.
this is an extension of that. So, through, as I said, the magic and the medicine that I
Mm-hmm.
believe that the ancestors have instilled in me is through the arena of creativity. And so we will be investigating almost in both a quasi theory based, but also practical based. We're going to be doing a lot of exercises that will ignite, utilize um, creative creativity, but all in line with spirit and with the participation of spirit.
Of course. That sounds amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to your section in African Mystery School. Looking forward to really tapping into the creative part of my spirit and allowing my ancestors to come through.
Makhosi.
Um, I've been doing a lot of journaling and drawing and just really trying to do things to connect with my spirits, creating jewelry and beads, like just whatever I could do to kind of channel that energy. So it's going to be really good for people to see how their spirits move through the things that they're creating and the ways in which their ancestors show up. So I'm really excited for that particular segment. Um, so moving right along, um, being that you have gone through initiation and rites of passage and completing Ukutwaza, what would you say? What would you say was your biggest takeaway from your experience, and what advice would you give to the initiates, to the potential initiates that are considering joining African Mystery School in regards to going through a rites of passage?
Ooh, my biggest takeaway. I would say that the end of the initiation is the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You even though it was arduous and painstaking, and at times I didn't even think I would survive it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you quote unquote graduate, it is only the beginning. The
The sky
training,
is the
the
beginning, yeah.
growth, the trials, the tribulations, it doesn't stop, and you are continually, sorry, evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ancestors meet you where you're at, and as you grow, more and more is given.
Mm-hmm.
You may even realize that at a certain point, other teachers or other experiences will come in because the ancestors have said you are now ready for this level. So it's
Yes.
very much like a video game. You get the key,
Yes. You graduate, whoop, move to the next level.
but you still got to go. You got to level up. But there's no end of the level. The ending of the level is the transition.
Yes, I always say my journey felt like my own version of Alice in Wonderland.
Absolutely.
And
And I will
it was
also
down the rabbit hole, like
yes.
whoa, like how
And
far
we've
would you
talked
go?
about this before, and I don't know if
Yes.
this is the right place, but I will say us being North American children,
Yes.
initiated in South African traditional ways of healing and what have you, I
Yes.
recognize that there's a call for our ancestors. So our blood is very mixed.
It is. It is.
And so what I found too, due to the enslaved Africans who were crossed over the big body of water and the mixing, is that there are many ancestors who
Oh,
walk with us. And I add, and that's for everybody, but I add in particular for the North American child, because I could speak from only that
Makhosi, you got to
perspective,
know.
right? My cause is that we are a mixed heritage, mixed race, mixed
Yes.
nationalities. So there are ancestors that come up that are not Sangomas.
Right.
You don't have a true flow bloodline, but I'm so grateful that the ancestors know this. And so for me, I feel a lot of times changing of the guards, depending. But I
Mm-hmm.
am a Sangoma first and foremost, and always will be.
Mako.
Makos, Makosa, Makosa, Makolo.
Of course. Yes, I mean that's part of the reason why Alozi guided me to create African Mystery School. Being a child of two waters, being a child born in the West,
Yes,
and having such a mixed ancestry, it was important to put something together to speak to the needs of those in the West because we're a unique breed. There's nothing like the Black experience, no matter where you fall, right?
yes,
Whatever country, island, wherever you land, there is nothing like that experience, and we are very unique. And we have to have something that's created to tend to all of our spirits. Just like you said, my foundation will always be Ubungoma. I'm a Sangoma always, but I know that even my Lozi pushes me to strive further, push further beyond this. You know, we are truly universal healers. You know, that are called to work with people all over the world, international, right?
yes.
Your work has gone all over the world and it's going to continue to spread all over the world because that is how unique our medicine is, that it could speak to everyone. And so you know, with this 9 month rites of passage, we're going to take different journeys into various portals of African medicine. You know, I have a few teachers within Ubungoma, but each of us have our own unique medicine and the way in which we express our medicine and our specific gifts that our guides share. But then we also have priests in Lukumi and the what, you know, tradition based in Cuba. Um,
Mhm.
and dealing with the Orisha, we also have a Mambo from Haiti, you know, speaking and teaching about voodoo. So we are so mixed and diverse. And I know for me, I have callings in each of these traditions, you know.
Yep.
Um, and so I know many of us do, you know, many of us do have those unique callings. So again, just to ask again, what advice would you
Yes. The
give
second
to
time.
the potential initiates, you know, in regards to rites of passage and understanding the journey that they're going to be taking?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind is you won't die.
Ah, did you die though? What did you die? That's what my
You
spirits
know,
always say.
or if you want to look at death as your old self will die, but you will
Yes.
emerge new. You won't die. There are times I was just like, what did I what did I do?
What have I done?
I'm wrong to have
Did I
enrolled
say
in an
yes to,
incident
Lord?
like
Yes.
that. You know, was I supposed to take the red pill instead of the blue pill? But either way, the door is closed. The door that I
It's
closed was
closed
gone.
now.
Not even closed; it would have disappeared. So it's like,
It completely disappeared, right?
where the door because, and it only points this way. You know, it points
Mm-hmm.
this way. So yeah, you won't die. And I think for me, I would say stay open and be gentle with yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
was hard on myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but though the process is hard, there, believe it or not, there is a lot of mercy, and the ancestors do understand
Yes.
where you are at, and they are working with you. Also, I would say
Mm-hmm.
consult your ancestors with everything. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times in the initiations there are monetary investments and gifts that must be given in order to receive what you need to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be scared of what you hear. You place that at the altar. You dig? You
Makos.
place that at the altar and say, you've brought me here. You've brought me this far by faith. So you got to finish. Because they have a role in helping you find all the means as well.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm glad that you brought that up because, you know, if it would have took my pocket and my bank account to get me over to South Africa to complete Ukutwaza, to complete my initiation, then I would still be sitting right where I began.
Exactly.
Because my community came together and really helped and supported. My ancestors showed up through so many people, you know, so many people, and that's actually like a part of the initiation is knowing that sacred dance, knowing when to give that to spirit, right? Knowing when it's your turn to take some responsibility and do the work, and then knowing when to, it's that ebb and flow, that balance that is created in learning how your spirits and your guides work with you. But it is important for you to trust your spirits and know that you're moving into a different way of being, that it's not, this world that we live in really teaches us that, or tries to teach us that we're all we got, right? And you have to do everything on your own, and it's all on you, and that's so not true. Right. That was one of the biggest lessons I learned as an initiate, is that it's not just me anymore, right? Mm-hmm. That I have to consult with Elozi, that I need to consult with my ancestors about every little thing, like, Elozi, I'm going to the store, Elozi, like literally everything. Even though they're walking with me and they know, it's important to have that relationship, right? Because that builds that trust between you and your spirits, right? And it comforts them to know that you trust them enough to come to them, and then they could show up, right? You have to tag them in order for them to do their part, right? If you want to handle everything, then so shall it be. So it is, right? Because we're just that powerful. Yeah. So thank you so much for bringing up that point.
And you know what? Something's dropping in my spirit right now. So this is hot off the presses even before you knew. I have to implement voice work in my workshop. The ancestor just gave it to me right now.
Makhosi.
Voice work.
So what would that look like?
That would be how you're using your voice, calling the ancestors.
Calling the ancestors forward.
Beyond not just words, but through sound, power. Yeah.
Makhosi.
I don't know if it's singing alone or what have you. And I'm telling you, it just came to me right now to say. So I'm going to have to use our voice, because singing and dancing are a huge part of our ritualistic life. Yes. That is part of how we get into trance. That is part of how we get into spirit. That is part of how we move and evoke spirit to come.
Mm-hmm. I see your spirits on you so much right now. I see them. Yes, that's Ubungomo, the way of the drum, and really finding that inner rhythm within yourself. Absolutely, that word sound power, and that crosses over through many different traditions.
Well, I think as Africans, period, music
it doesn't matter, right?
Holistic. It's part of our practice, no matter what.
And our healing, right? So speaking our truth is a part of the healing and the unfolding of the mystery. Absolutely. And trusting in that. I definitely agree. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any parting words for us, Makhosi?
Sign up.
That's all I got to say.
Sign up.
You definitely want to be in. You definitely want to be a part of it.
You know what it is, too, what I'm really proud about, and we can do with this. This is also about female empowerment. This is about fly sisters who have stepped in their power, who want others to. That's what I'm telling you. Come on now.
We are pretty incredible.
Hello.
I'm just saying.
So here's, because I've had people who have come for my services for readings, and they're like, "You're Makhosi," and I'm like, "Am I supposed to look something? What do you have this image,
right?
What, I don't know, an old, the witch."
That's how they made us look at Shaka Zulu, old and decrepit. I was so scared of Sangomas based on that movie, like. But all the Sangomas I know are fine as shit. Okay, we beautiful. Okay.
I have leopard print all over the place.
You see?
You see, I am adorned.
You are Makhosi for real. Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So know this. So if this is, this is it's not new, but this is the old new, and saying that we are it. We are the ancient key holders. And this is what our shell looks like. And this is what our lives look like. And this is what your lives, because let me tell you something, that's the greatest medicine and makeup and facelift and spirit lift that you could ever get. Is that when you are in spirit, when you are walking with the ancestors, when you are in spirit and in truth and in light.
Hunty. Tell them.
Come on now.
Yes, it's the truth.
Come on.
That's when your soul shines through. That's when we're the
Because it's all
most.
goddess work in the end for me. So if we're gonna like quote unquote try and westernize it, which it really isn't, but I'm just saying these are terms we're more used to, chakras. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is goddess work.
Mm-hmm.
We are stepping into our divine feminine power.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how, through my cultural experience, I access it.
Makhosi.
Again, Sangoma, Lukimi, Orisha, what have you, we're stepping in.
We're stepping into
And we have been told through slavery, now this is the message for the West, that we had to forget it all, that we would be killed if we practiced it, that burned our drums, made us fear our own power in order to enrule us. So this is a time for uprisement, baby. We need to claim back our traditions. We need to claim back our language. We need to claim back our practices, because that's where our power lies. And they're afraid of it, but it's our time now. It is
our time now, and it's so much our time now. This medicine is so needed, especially in this time of all the things that is going on. Like, it's time to reclaim all of who we are, all the
reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time, okay?
From the beginning of time.
From the beginning of time.
Okay.
Makhosi.
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 Makhosi Nicule.
Makhosi
Nicule.
Love you so much. You're my sister.
Blessings.
And I'm so happy that you are part and that these initiatives, these women get to participate in your medicine, because it's very special. So everyone, just like Makhosi Nicule said, you definitely want to sign up. This is something that's going to be amazing, and something that I feel has never been done before. Women of all traditions, different African traditions under one roof, have a space to learn from women who have gone through their own journey, right? Who have passed the test of time, who continue to pass these tests, because it does not stop. Never. Right? And who live in integrity and truth.
Yes. And we are all rivers pouring into the same ocean.
Makhosi. So thank you so much, Makhosi Nicule, for joining us. And everyone, you will see more of her throughout the upcoming weeks as we continue to promote for Afrikan Mysteries School. Thokozani. Peace.